Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island viewers should be aware that the following program may contain images and names of deceased persons.
The front bar, and it's magnificent to be thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft. Huge show tonight. It's a Doug Nicholls round over a couple of weekends. There's so much to look forward to, so much to celebrate. And to that end, we have got good evening to you two too, by the way. One of the great Indigenous, one of the standard bearers for all Indigenous footballers who have followed thereafter, the great Sid Jackson, to join us on the show tonight. Yes. And, of course, Titus O'Reilly felt only right with Melbourne flying. Match of the day. Felt right to have Titus in the studio.
And it felt right not to clap him either.
No, that's right. Hey, just a little word right off the top.
Sure. We need to explain it.
So Sid Jackson is on the show, and we're delighted to have him on the show. But some of you may have noticed that we've been promoting the fact that Stephen Michael, West Australian legend, was going to be on. Obviously, with COVID restrictions, travelling in and out of and back to, we're just going to postpone Stephen and hopefully get him on.
He will be on.
He'll definitely.
Make no mistake, don't fret. He will, in the future, be on.
Can I just say, I'm not surprised that Stephen Michael's not here.
Beg your pardon?
Not surprised.
Why?
What are you talking about?
Well, in 1981, 12 clubs tried to get him to come to Victoria. Why did we think we'd be any different? Why did we think we'd be able to do it?
That's a very good point.
But I can't wait for him to be.
No, it's going to be
worth the wait.
Enormous.
The highlights are incredible.
Obviously, COVID struck again. Victoria goes into the 7-day lockdown from midnight tonight. Clubs have got out of Victoria as quickly as they possibly can to beat the lockdown, so they've flung all over the place. Between alterations to schedules, games have been shifted around here, there and everywhere. Hopefully it's just going to be the 7 days. This is where we're at the moment. No crowds, obviously, in Victoria this weekend. Gold Coast Hawthorns moved from Darwin to the SCG, doubleheader.
That wasn't for COVID reasons, that was just a genuine lack of interest.
In just no interest.
But at least we know when it's on.
We know when it's on, yeah.
Richmond Adelaide's gone from the G, of course, to the Giants.
Anywhere, anytime.
Port Adelaide, Fremantle.
Jesus is not Marvel.
Marvel starting the G, of course, listed as exposures. And that Port Adelaide Fremantle game's been pushed back a little bit just so the umpires can get there on time.
Everyone's making changes on the run. We've been affected as well. As you'd be aware, no live audience tonight, just a cast and crew. So
it's been great to have them back like that, hasn't it?
It is. What we've decided to do is we've got some canned laughter. Just to,
look, bit of atmosphere,
just at the footy, they play a bit of crowd noise. So if me or Sam does something amusing, you'll hear a bit of this. Great stuff. And if Andy attempts a joke, probably something like this. That says... Right. You'll be hearing a bit of that.
Okay, no worries.
Let the games begin.
Let them begin. I'll very straight. I'll be keeping on the straight and narrow then tonight. OK, so Collingwood again has been in the news. Of course, they had the petition set up last week at the MCG. Fan-driven, of course. There's turmoil at the footy club. They wanted to get 600 votes.
That's not a petition. That's just Victoria's contact tracing system. No, but he got the numbers. He got
the numbers out of the water. Got 2,000. They're around about 2,000, so they've got the numbers.
Collingwood collecting signatures has got credit card scam written all over it. How many did they know?
I think they needed about 600, I think.
They've got it.
They've got about 2,000, I think.
They've got it.
Yep, so
I've actually got the list of names.
Oh, have you?
All those who put their signatures down.
Wow. Right.
Have a look. It's really interesting. So here's the front page. That's Teddy Maguire, Freddie Maguire, Nettie Maguire, Betty Maguire. All in the same handwriting, isn't it?
That's a bit odd.
Over the page. That's more than Maguires.
What else you got?
So a lot of Maguires, all at the same address.
Right, okay, yeah.
So nothing to worry about there. It's on.
It seems legit.
Yeah, there's going to be a coup, isn't there?
Well, it feels like it, yeah.
Can I just say, as a non-Collingwood supporter, I hope it's long, bloody, and at some stage the military is involved.
Well, if you're the incumbent board at the Collingwood Footy Club, Mark Corder and his team, you're probably starting to feel the walls are closing.
He's a sitting duck, Mark Corder.
It feels a bit that way.
Don't get too comfy.
No, it does feel like the pressure's mounting on Mark Corder and his team.
Well, he came out and this is the president's
It was the president's lunch.
And he was trying to introduce his new VP, Paul Licuria.
Paul Licuria, who's just been elevated to Vice President by the board to show how much football means. And Paul, even though he's got a day job, is spending a lot of time with Graham and Mark. So Paul's in the room somewhere, but or as usual, he's always late.
Well, they're off to a flyer.
There you go.
You know who would really enjoy that bit of footage? Jeff Brown. Seriously, I never thought I'd miss Eddie so much.
There's always the danger. You can be too charismatic. You can be just got to
Settle down.
Yeah.
Well, he's just different. It's a very different style from the previous office bearer at the Collingwood Footy Club, isn't it? St Kilda's, of course, the other team that's in the news this week for all of the wrong reasons on the field, unfortunately. 111-point loss to the Western Bulldogs. They look like they're out of their weight division against the Doggies. It's the fourth 50-point-plus loss the Saints have had this year. It's just not going the way they wanted to.
What's going on? What's wrong?
Even North fans felt bad for St Kilda. You know that?
Well, off
111 points.
Off the back of 2020, they make the final, they win a final, they bring some top-up players in. You feel like they're going to be really launching in 2021. It's just not working.
They had a great year last year. They had a final, and you just thought they were...
Yeah, they're going to roll on.
Many theories, Mick, about what's happened to St Kilda, but listening to the head of football down there at St Kilda, Simon Lethlean, I think it's because they've set unrealistic expectations.
That level is not good enough, and you saw that. I think we can all live with 4 and 5 goal losses against the best team in the comp.
You can set the bar too high. That's what you can do there.
Well, that's like their new mantra.
What?
Down at St Kilda, that's their slogan. That's what... Look, there it is. Look, it's in the rooms above the doors. We can all live with football. Don't forget to tap that on the way up the ground, boys. Right. That's the way to do it.
No.
Saints fan to be getting that tattooed on back. It's very inspiring stuff.
They're still not too late to regroup.
111 points.
Yeah, no good, mate. They were terrible. They were absolutely pitiful against the Dogs.
And Saints fans who went to the game, they didn't know where to look in the last quarter. Because it was getting pretty ugly. Although there was one woman who she knew where to look, and that was on page 12 of... interesting place to have a book club, by the way. But Maria.
Yep.
The reading group, I think, the book's...
Reading group. Well, she definitely wasn't reading St Kilda's Big Book of Premierships, was she? Anyway, that's...
good luck. Onward and upward. Hey, it is... about this time of the year, routinely and traditionally on this show, that we do have a look at the 8, and we're sort of just about entering the meaty part of the season, middle of the year.
Let's have a look at it.
By time. And I know you often say, Sam, that
there we go.
A lot about the 8 at this time of the year.
It's probably set, if you know what I mean.
Just
it's probably, if you're not in it now,
not too
very little changes.
Let's go through the top 8.
Western Bulldogs, Melbourne, Geelong, Brisbane, Port Adelaide, Sydney, West Coast. And no Richmond, Richmond, by the way. Richmond are isolating outside of the 8.
You know where they are.
They're in a hub with the bottom teams.
You know where they are at the moment, don't you?
Where?
9th. Where they belong.
Bad memories.
Hey.
Tigers. Yep.
You're better than this.
Back where they belong, the Tigers.
Hey, you reckon they'll get back in?
Nothing sure.
Now Tommy Lynch with the bad knee.
Whatever.
Might be amputated. That's what we're hearing.
It's been a great...
It'll be an award next to Bert Newton. Maybe we could get Tom Lynch Bert's leg. A big hello to Bert out there. He's a gag man. He would understand that. He's a fan of the show. He knows what I'm saying.
And big fit Troy man loves his footy. So
yeah, he does. That's right. Yeah.
Hey, the big problem for
Richmond... What is the big problem for Richmond?
They've got a few problems at the moment.
Got a few problems, but one of them is there's last Friday we saw something we've never seen before.
What was that?
There was Mick with a woman his own age. No, it was this. It was, look at this. It's Dusty. It's Dusty getting tackled.
They've broken the code.
Mate, it's all over.
They've busted the code.
He has not been tackled in 11 years.
No, so they do the fend off. Do the fend off.
So let me get this straight. I'm not doing an acting class with you, Andy.
Right. So they worked out what to do.
Don't do that.
The arm goes in and they came over the top and they've been working on it.
Here's your headline. Footballer gets tackled.
No.
Oh, my God.
No.
Wait. Did you hear the news? A footballer got tackled. Well, come on. You're better than that.
They haven't done it in 11 years.
Exactly.
It was a big moment.
No, it's been part of the modern... It's been part of the Richmond year and the dusty game plan.
It's called the Don't Argue. It's effective, and it's...
Only took them 3 Norm Smith medals to work it out, but don't worry.
Probably it's time to say goodbye to the Don't Argue. It's gone.
Burying it?
Yeah, and there's a touching tribute that we put together.
Is that right?
Farewelling the Don't Argue. Things don't last forever.
Mate. Good things come out, mate. That's beautiful. That's beautiful that you do that.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, what were you saying?
What did you think of the package?
I didn't miss it. What happened?
The Dusty package.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, do you know what? Guess what? See this book? The reading group.
Maria's book.
This is actually Maria's copy.
Is it?
Yeah.
I swear to you.
She was going to come in.
She was going to come in. She was going to be on the show, and we wanted to replicate it, and we couldn't find another copy of the book. So, Maria, thank you.
That's her actual copy?
It's her actual book, right. And I can't help but noticing, but her bookmark is on page 513, which leaves about 2 chapters to go.
Right.
Marie, and I couldn't help flicking through to the last page to find out that Nancy leaves Greg. No! Why would she do that? Why? Why?
What happened to Charles?
Dead. Died suddenly when he found out Gary was his brother. We'll send that back to you, Maria.
Yeah, no, thanks, Maria. Good on you.
No need.
Don't get me. Sid Jackson not too far away from joining us, but on the other side of this, Melbourne flying. Titus O'Reilly to join us on the show. To the front bar. That's a very fresh Carlton Draft.
And once again, can I say,
yes,
heart goes out to everyone in the pub game.
Yep, spot on.
And entertaining. It's just first on, last off. Do what you can to support your local pub.
Well, a lot of them are still doing takeaway. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Food, whatever you can do.
Yep.
Get along and support
Heartbeat of communities all over the place, pubs. So if you can help me out, make sure you do. Social media platforms, get involved. There's been a lot of feedback on social media in recent times. And
really?
Yeah, no, Reece...
About what?
Well, no, just variety stuff that's going on the show. Most of it really positive, and some of it a bit observational. And Reece Bryan on Facebook, along with many others, sent through this recently saying that the Usman and Gomez logo, the Mexican, restaurant bar kind of joint, that these two look like you, Pang on the left and Malloy on the right. It's been sent through, so we decided...
Hurtful.
Yeah, I know. A little bit hurtful.
It's quite attractive likeness of you.
I think...
quite masculine.
Who sent that in?
Reece Bryan.
You're a dead man, Reece. No, that's just...
Who's who?
Yeah.
Oh, you're on the right, and Sam, it said Sam on the left, and you on the right, Nicky.
See, this is why...
I think you're quite a handsome likeness of you two.
A bit like more... that's me on the left, but El Chapo on the right. Should have you tunneling somewhere. Anyway,
is that one of the few roles I could play El Chapo?
That's what we're doing now, are we? Doing lookalikes? Have to put up an image of Mr. Sheen, will you? That's what we're going to do.
What's wrong with you?
Mate, that's not that fun. That's not that much fun.
That's very hurtful.
Keep them coming.
Who was it? Who was it again?
Reece Bryan on Facebook.
Who has the same postal address as you?
Teddy Maguire. Have you got any other lookalikes for Mick and Sam? Send them through and we'll whack them up on our socials.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
Hey, we mentioned the pubs, and of course we're sponsored by Carlton Draft, and there was an incident involving a beer at the footy on the weekend.
Yep.
Had Essendon North Melbourne. Have a look at this punter.
Yep.
Not happy.
Oh, that's just...
look at him, dirty up. He spilt the beer. And nice flanny too.
Good flanny, strong flanny.
I like that a lot. See
Mackay.
that shot? Now, that shot there, I've always said this. When it comes to beer, you've got to protect the head.
The head of the beer is...
The head of the beer is sacrosanct. And that is a rookie mistake. And by the way, the only target a North player hit all day, I should point out.
No, well, Benny Mackay was attacking the footy all the way through to the boundary line.
Well, funny you mention that, because we were going to again, prior to lockdown, we were going to have that fan in here talking to us about it.
Right, OK.
Can't make it in for COVID-related reasons. But Ben Mackay still came to the party and sent this very heartfelt message.
G'day, it's Ben Mackay here. I hope you've enjoyed your 15 minutes of fame. I know you blame me for knocking over your beer, mate, but seriously, come on, don't cry about it. There's plenty of bigger problems in the world at the moment than a $9 beer. Your beer was looking pretty warm anyway, mate, to be honest, so I thought I'd do you a favour and go over and give you a hand to finish it off, because I don't think you were drinking it. Mate, I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel Stadium gave you a ban for letting your beer spill everywhere and not looking after it properly. Oh, yeah, and Champion Data gave me a spoil for the knock, so at least there was one positive out of the day.
Well done, Ben McKay. That's
He's
solid.
unloaded.
That's good work.
Took a bit of a turn there halfway through, didn't it?
Good on
Might
you.
need a mediation between those two.
No, in the moment.
Just a beer.
Hey, that was then. Tomorrow night is the soon-to-be now, and we can't wait, can we? I mean, this is top-of-the-table clash. This is one of the most eagerly anticipated home and away games we've had for quite some time, the Western Bulldogs. Melbourne, sadly, there won't be any crowds there, but it is a game.
We were all going to this.
Yeah.
We were going to go. No, we were. But, geez, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a cracking game at footy.
The long time between these two teams, been in a top-of-the-table clash.
Long time.
Last time these two were 1 and 2 before the match, they sang "God Save the King." But Luke Beveridge, by the way, Beveridge,
Yeah, the coach of the Western
the
Bulldogs.
architect, the master.
The little master.
I love
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, we love him.
He's got his team up firing. They play a wonderful brand of football. I'm a professional. I'll keep going. Don't worry. The thing is, they're trying to put me off. What are you doing?
Come on, Luke
Well,
Beveridge.
mate, it's taken that long. I could have gone down there and got it myself.
Luke,
It's classic Gomez.
Yeah.
Is it Guzman and what is it?
Guzman and Gomez.
Yeah, classic.
We're
You're
like two
Guzman.
mismatched cops.
All right.
You know?
You're Guzman and he's Gomez.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Bevo has got his
Yes.
team firing. They play an attractive brand. I should mention too, he was down during the week watching his Bulldogs VFL team. The
Oh, is he?
play Frankston.
That'd be Footscray.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
that's his VFL team.
Yep.
Anyway, you know I love him, but I tell you what, his press conferences are not to be missed. And here's another story from Bevo that goes absolutely nowhere.
It was a magnificent night, great crowd down there. Got to shake hands with Flipper, the Dolphin. I didn't realise Frankston had a commitment to. Flipper was extraordinary. Actually, he's a bit like Humphrey BB. He wouldn't talk, but so that was a really good night down there.
Don't you love him, don't you?
Mate, I
He's
love him.
absolutely. I know he's
love him.
magnificent.
What's the mascot?
Well, they're the Dolphins.
Yeah, Flipper's the Dolphins. There he is there.
Yeah, there's Flipper.
By the way, Flipper might want to go and get himself tested, by the way. I'm not sure he's looking... Is he looking all right, Flipper?
Seen better days, has he?
Yeah.
Speaking of Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs in that game tomorrow night, it was probably the big takeaway from last week's game, wasn't it? Young Nick Murray. This is the most controversial moment of the round. The deliberate, not called. It was giving Melbourne the chance to at least tie the game, probably win it with a straight kick.
Mickey, that umpire had a very, very big decision to make. Does he pay that deliberate, or does he end up in a barrel in Snowtown? Seriously.
Well, that's 3 times the umpires have done it now.
I know.
The umpires have more wins than North and Collingwood. I tell you what, though, I just wished that there was a Demon supporter here that we could talk to. Someone a friend of the show, we could ask and inquire about that Oh, my God, it's Titus O'Reilly, everybody!
Well done.
You were there.
I was there.
You were at the ground. Were you swayed by the Adelaide crowd? Talk us through it.
Well, this week, I've not seen so many angry Melbourne supporters since they tried to take away our franking credits. It is...
That's right.
Look, that incident, it's one incident. You don't want to overreact to it, do you?
Yeah, no,
but
you don't.
it is the greatest travesty of justice in this country since Lindy Chamberlain.
Oh, well,
Easy.
That's rather
easy.
Hey, as Mickey said, you were there for the game. What was it like being in Adelaide for that match?
Actually, the Crows fans were lovely. They sent me away with some beautiful wines and cheeses and a curated boutique case of COVID that I brought back with me. People are just loving it in Melbourne. It's going everywhere.
You're the guy.
Yeah.
Now, listen, serious question.
Yeah.
Did the D's get ahead of themselves, mate? Did you just assume they were going to beat the Crows?
Well, I've heard this, that we just took it for granted and take it up to the Crows enough. But there is no evidence at all that Melbourne took this for granted, this game. I mean, it's just, and anyone that says that owes us an apology. But unrelated to that, completely unrelated, I'm happy to announce some new merchandise on the front bar. This is an exclusive.
Okay. Wow. Right.
And this is our Melbourne almost 10-0 commemorative. It's a beautiful collection. I've got to say, it's a beautiful collection. I've only got 40,000 of these to move, so if you want, you can see there's a lot of evidence we didn't take any for granted.
I love it.
Comes with the now, if you get in quick, you also get this DVD and the Almost 10-0. That's got almost 10 games on it as well.
Wow.
It's absolutely a cracker.
I love it.
Now, this is probably my favourite bit of the whole bit of merch.
All right. OK.
This is the Almost 10-0. See how comfortable I am holding skis? You can tell.
It's like an extension of your arm.
I know, you're going to... These are
comfortable.
cross-country skis, I should say. So this is how I'm getting up to Bulla during the lockdown if I go off the track. So they're a beautiful one. You'll be the envy up there in Bulla for those. But this is my favourite bit.
There we go.
Jeez, you got a lot.
Last bit of this. This is the commemorative Almost 10-0 merchandise. This beautiful cheese platter. 10-0 for all of them. I actually hand-picked all these from the local fromagerie. Which is... the French don't pronounce it that way, but the French don't know how to pronounce English words, so...
Well, that's a stunning collection.
So almost 10-0, it's exciting time. So get in quick, commemorative. It's just a beautiful moment.
That merchandise does seem to suggest that the club was getting a little ahead of itself, Titus.
Oh, how can you say that? You can see very clearly, printed with almost on it. This isn't a hash. This isn't a slap together at the last minute.
No,
It's a beautiful thing.
Titus, before you go, what do you think about this whole COVID situation? What's the answer? Where's the
I mean, it's such a big mess. It makes Collingwood board seem well organised, doesn't it? I mean, this whole COVID thing. I mean, it's now getting serious. This vaccine rollout because it's affecting sport, and that's really the tragedy. And if you want to know anything about this country, we put more effort, time and planning into moving a piece of grass from the MCG to the Gabba in a refrigerated truck than we have into our vaccine rollout. I mean, we've just got to get people vaccinated, and I think it's no jab, no toilet paper. Very simple. And get Peggy O'Neill in charge of it and Brendan Gale, because if they can fix Richmond, the vaccine rollout is not a problem.
So
I think we're done.
Good luck tomorrow night, mate. All the very best. Good luck with that merch range too, by the way.
Oh, no,
Top
getting
shelf,
quick.
all the very best. Titus O'Reilly's joining us. Good luck to his teams tomorrow night. This is for him and all the other Melbourne supporters. When we come back, one of the greats, Sid Jackson, to join us on the show.
It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem.
Welcome back to the show here for the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft. It's one of the great rounds of footy, and it's over a couple of weeks this year. This is the Doug Nichols round. Celebrate the contribution made to the great game of Australian rules football by our Indigenous brothers and sisters who have made the game and enriched the game so much more than it was. One of the absolute standard bearers for those who have followed in his footsteps joins us here tonight. It is an absolute privilege to have him with us. Please make him welcome. Sid Jackson, everybody. Thanks for coming on, Sid. It's a joy to have you. I must say,
fantastic to be here. And,
76 years of age. You look in magnificent order.
Is that right?
Yeah, my word, you know. Have I got that right?
It goes quick, doesn't it?
My word, it does. Sid, it'll be hard for you to believe, but there'll be some younger people in the audience who may not have seen you play too much footy. So just enjoy the highlights of this magnificent footballer who came over to Carlton having played 104 games for East Perth, was a beautiful player. Can you remember when you first touched a footy, when you first really found footy?
It goes back to the when I was in the home, the mission home, just outside of Rollins, near Bunbury, with about 30, 40 other kids in there. And we had one old football.
Yep.
It's almost like a basketball, really, because we kicked it out of shape that much. And 30, 40 kids, you had to try and get a kick. So
would have been hard one,
I think that's where we built up our skills. And
did you take
it all day long?
Did you take to it pretty quickly? Do you remember? Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Pretty natural to us.
There's incredible highlights here. What's obviously immediately apparent is, by today's standards, there's 11% or so of the players are Indigenous, but you were it in those days. Can you tell us a bit about what it was like being a pioneer? And I'm guessing it would have been pretty tough on the field for you.
Oh, yeah, look, I heard a lot of, abuse going on and name calling and that sort of thing, but that didn't really worry me. I was quite at home out in the middle of the ground, particularly with my teammates. And little known to the opposition when they called me names and yelled out abuse. Little did they know that they were firing me up.
Yeah, beautiful.
So, that's the way I handle it.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'll get a few more goals or I'll have a few more kicks.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's the way.
Who won that argument?
Sid, you came to Carlton when you were 25. Was it all now? So why did you take so long to come over here? You played like 100 games in the Waffle before you came, and was it always going to be Carlton?
It wasn't always going to be Carlton, but there was a legacy game being played in the southwest, the town in Bunbury itself, and I was playing for South Bunbury at the time. And Brassy came over and saw me playing, and that's where it all started from. And he's asked me to come to Carlton, so it's just pure luck.
Pretty persuasive man, I imagine Ronald Dale would have been back in the day.
Yeah, he was. He had that one part of his mouth hanging down and lip hanging down here, and
there he is. There's his Tinder shot.
Yelled and screamed, and there you can see it there.
And that's yours.
Yeah, this is Sid, because in 1968 you made your debut for Carlton in '69, but you came in '68, and you were the runner.
I was the runner. Yep. West Australia wouldn't clear us because too many West Australians were going to the Eastern States playing in the VFL then, and they stopped me for 1 year, hoping that distract other players from going across.
What were Barassi's messages like, Sid? Did you have to sort of temper them down a little bit for a few of the teammates?
They were quite often. I mean, I never sat down for about 4 or 5 of those matches. And they said, go out again. I was that buggered. Anyway, they were pretty ruthless.
Tell us about your relationship with Ronald Barassi. You obviously cared for each other.
Generally very, very good.
Generally good. There you are. I love that photo, by the way. But can I ask you this? Is this true or false? Did he or did he not sack you mid-training session one day from the club?
Well, where'd you hear that from?
I've got some sources, don't you know?
Well, that's quite true, actually.
Can you tell us what happened?
Well, he just went mad. Said, did you tell them what they do? Said, I said, yes, Brass, no. In fact, he told me to go ahead and say, tell him to get over here and go over here. And, did you tell him what to do? He said, I said, yes, Brass, no problem at all. Well, I didn't say that at all. Brass said, you're going well, mate, just keep going. So I wasn't going to tell him what...
He wanted you on that Galahs tour of '68, which was a famous tour, a really famous... There you are with a couple of the Carlton boys and Polly Farmer, of course, in the middle of it all. I mean, there's Alex Jeslinko and Brian Quirk, I think, is on the right-hand side, and you. Yeah. Is it true that you nearly didn't get on this tour, that there needed to be some high-level intervention to get you on that plane?
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true because, geez, I don't think I was a citizen of Australia at the time, but I didn't have a passport.
So how did you get one to get on the plane? How did that happen?
Yeah, we did some quick ringing around. I think we got onto the government.
In Canberra?
In Canberra, to the, what do they call them?
The Prime Minister?
The Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister?
The Prime Minister was John Gordon.
Yeah, that's him.
John Gordon. And I remember saying with John Gordon, I said, oh, bloody red tape. And within, 24 hours, I had a passport. And I found out where I was born and where I was... Oh, goodness gracious.
See, if your current...
I suddenly became a human being.
Yeah. Well, if your current passport expires, right, and you need one in 12 hours, I've got an uncle. can sort you out, Sid. He can sort you out real quick.
We all get the irony in that situation too, though.
Oh, amazing.
You need an Australian pass.
Now, you know, on this show, Sid, we do our research, right? So we went back to one of your old teammates today, Robert Walls.
Yes.
Yeah, Wallsy.
Yeah, Wallsy.
And we wanted to say, you know, Wallsy, what can you give us about Sid? And he said, you know, out of all the things that he could have, you know, given us, you know, what sort of teammate you were, how great a player you were, what an honour it was, you know, to play with you and all that. You know what he wanted to us to ask you about? He said, ask Sid about his soft hands. So, because of COVID, I'm not allowed to shake them, but can you hold them up?
Right.
Yeah, they look beautiful.
crooked ones there.
They look beautiful.
But they do.
They look beautiful.
That was
right.
Kevin Sheedy's head.
Yeah, they're not as soft when they're clenched.
Couldn't get Kevin Bartley's teeth.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because in watching a lot of the old video to prepare for this, I was trying to sum up the era you played in one word, and the word I reckon is nuts. Have a look at some of this behaviour that no one batted an eyelid. Did you always feel safe out there?
Oh, yes, yeah. There was no problem.
Big Nick.
I could see him coming.
Well, Nick couldn't. Have a look at this bloke with Did you need to have eyes in the back of your head a bit, Sid, back in these days? Was it a bit like that?
It was. You had to be...
Have a look at this on the goal line here. Wallsy, the handball over the top. Crunch. There you go.
It just keeps coming.
Well, you didn't play 4 quarters back then, Sid. You 15 rounds, wasn't it, back then? It was a bit different back then.
So it's a different game now. Do you watch much footy these days?
All the time, yeah.
Do you like,
love it.
Do you like how the game's evolved?
I do, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's quite different, but there's a lot of stop and start in our game when I was playing, but here it's just... actually, they play it all from the back line, don't they?
They do a bit.
Stop and start and stop and just over and over and then run it in when they can. But,
How do you reckon?
Different game.
How do you reckon you'd go in the modern day, Sid?
Very well.
I reckon you'd go all right.
When you came over from Western Australia, Sid, so you come over from the beautiful sunshine and the hard grounds. How did you go in the wet?
I loved Melbourne. Yeah, didn't bother me at all.
I only asked that, Sid, because there were some doubts about your ability to play in the wet, judging by the commentary back in the day.
Kicked into the mud patch in the centre, it stops stone dead, picked up by Jackson. Oh, Jackson relishing these conditions, kicks forward and hits Gallagher right on the chest.
Who was the bloke that said he couldn't play in the wet?
Well, it wasn't me.
Somebody said it.
I have a tape of that.
We'll give you that. We'll give you everything when we finish tonight, Sid. The wet wasn't a problem. But I think the fog may have been a problem for you. Well, I'm not sure because we can't see you. Do you remember this day?
Junction Oval, 1971, v Fitzroy.
Well, they wouldn't see me at least.
No.
I remember talking to Jeff Southey about that game, and he said the only way you could work out where the ball was by listening because you couldn't see more than 20 metres.
Yep, it was voice messages.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
They were extraordinary conditions.
Hey, stick around.
Sid.
There's a lot more with Sid Jackson we want to have a chat about. This remarkable career from this beautiful player, and we'll do that on the other side of this. Show. Absolute joy for us to have Sid Jackson, our special guest, in the studio. Doug Nicholls round starts tomorrow night, of course. Sid, without any dispute in my mind, the 1970 grand final, the greatest grand final of all time. You were a star in it. You're a star in the 72 grand final as well for Carlton. This is one of the great grand final goals of all time. What are your memories? Are they vivid of this 121,000 people?
Yep, still very, very vivid. Yep. Remember that game very well, and the guy that won it for us actually was a little blonde-headed bloke. He was a 90s man, and he was 90s man for about 6 years.
Yeah. Do you remember half time? I mean, the legend of handball at all costs.
Yes,
I mean, was that? Yep.
Well, Brashy said, "Let's start handballing. Get them back chasing us." And next minute we started popping the ball over and over and over. Then we got a bit of a run on and got 2 or 3 goals, and that really got us going. As it, we combined very well after that, and we seemed to get a good run on and get some goals going.
Feels like, fair to say, probably the last legitimate flag Carlton ever won.
Don't listen to him, Sid. Don't listen to him, Sid. Don't listen to him, Sid.
What about 72?
Well, that's exactly right. And Jezza kicked a bag in 72 and one of the all-time great Carlton footballers.
I want to ask you about Jezza, so I can't... We've got you here. I mean, that was a great team, but you've played with one of the all-time greats. What are your memories of Alex Jesaulenko?
It's just a you always felt extremely happy and proud just to go run out with that bloke, because you know that he's going to do something brilliant, which he always does. When we're in a bit of trouble, he'd do something sensational, take like the mark he took over Jerker Jenkins. Remember that? Yep. And he's shepherding and handballing, but he could run along the half bent over along the ground and still have taking the ball with him. And
he was magical.
Magical.
I want to show you one of the best goals I think I've ever seen. For a reason that'll become obvious. Have a look. Watch Jezza swoop.
There he is.
And he gets out. I've found the dog. What's your memory?
Mickey, you know, St Kilda were playing a loose dog in defence. That's a pretty good effort, by the way.
I want to know why that dog was even at the ground. Forget on the pitch. Why is there a dog at the ground? Memories of that? No.
I wouldn't have thought so.
I've got to ask you.
The secret weapon, wasn't it?
Toughest opponent?
Oh, there was Sheedy and Matthews. And there's a bloke called Lee Adamson.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Gee, you played on some good ones, though. So with Sheeds, and I was speaking to Walls again, that Sheeds...
The scar's still there.
Sheedy and Walls famously had a feud that went on for years. Did you start it?
What? Oh, I think so, yeah.
What?
How did you start it?
Oh, just, whisper mongering and kept them going. A bit of fun.
What do you know about? What do you know about?
The story I heard, Sid, was that you said something to Sheeds and then... I think you hit Sheeds first.
Well, I told him to keep his elbows down.
How did you do that?
I just kissed him in the ear.
Then I heard that Wolsey turned around and thought that Sheeds had started it, and then they had a feud for 50 years.
It was on Fiona Laurel because you kissed him in the ear. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well...
Yeah, it happened.
I just told him something, yeah.
Hey,
it was a simpler time.
Yeah, Sid, we have a segment on our show that we're really growing to really love on this program. It's called Rewrite the Rules, thanks to Carlton Zero.
We don't really love it, judging by that intro. You ran out of...
we're big fans
of energy.
That's your job on the show. See that bit there? That's the main thing you have to concentrate on.
Big fan of From the Archives, but, Rewrite the Rules, I'm warming to it. Thank you very much. I'm warming to it.
Shall I go on with it?
Yes, please, if you wouldn't mind. That'd be great. Thanks to Carlton Zero.
Do you want to do it again?
You should do it again.
Hey, Sid, we've got a segment on the show. We absolutely love it. Thanks to Carlton Zero. Time for Rewrite the Rules.
You're going to love this, Sid. This is...
Rewrite the rules.
Rewrite the rules. Well, you rewrote the rules, and I wanted to ask you this. The drop kick. Were you the last person to ever do a drop kick in AFL/VFL football?
Nice.
Yes. I think you were. Now, have a look at this. You're a master. From close range, passing, kicking for goal, snapping. I mean, have a look at this. Boom shakalaka.
You can't do boom shakalaka for a drop kick.
I've moved it from a torp to a drop kick. Tell us about the art of the drop kick and why did it go? What happened?
Now I remember, yeah. There was a bloke in front of me, and I think he ran in too close. And I let this drop kick go and hit him right under the damn chin. So he's gone backwards. I don't know whether it knocked him out, but he wasn't. Yeah. He had to go to the bench. And the ball went backwards. They grabbed the ball, and the opposition grabbed the ball and kicked the goal, and we lost the game.
You lost the game.
Never again.
And it was banned?
That was the end of the drop kicks.
Right. It's a shame. You're a beautiful exponent of it. You're a magnificent drop kicker of the footy. I know you've been down to Carlton this week and you've been showing the Indigenous jumper. Beautiful jumper designed by a Gunny Mara woman, Laura Thompson. It's a beautiful jumper. It's such a feature of Doug Nicholls' round. How proud are you, Sid, that the game has embraced and celebrates the Indigenous contribution?
Oh, look, I'm very proud of it, yeah. Yep. It's a game we all love, not just Indigenous people. A lot of our players are coming into the game. It's an area where they can showcase because they've got a lot of good skills to bring to the game. And I think that's a great contribution.
And I know you've got the Carlton jump. We've got a couple of them here, a couple of the jumps. I know you've got the Carlton jump.
I haven't seen that one.
No, this is the North Melbourne jump. Why don't you grab that? That's absolutely magnificent.
You can have that.
You got the Carlton jump. You got the St Kilda one there.
Well, this is the St Kilda one.
Yeah.
This was designed by Nicky Winmar, who was going to be a guest on tonight's show, but couldn't come in for COVID-related reasons. But that's a cracking jumper by Nicky.
I've got the Fremantle Dockers one.
Yep.
Which is magnificent. And Sid, you got the Carlton one over there, haven't you?
This is the Carlton one?
Well, maybe turn around. There it is, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there it is. Absolutely.
Sid wanted
It's great.
Great design, yeah. Very good.
We should get an Indigenous designed flanny.
Oh, that would be quite something. That would be absolutely magnificent.
Let's get
that would be superb.
Sid, I'm not mucking around. I want that back at the end of that. Now, Sid, we talked about what a wonderful contribution you made to the game, you know, ambassador and pioneer and all that stuff. What about this, being named in the Indigenous team of the century on the half-forward flank? There it is there. I was actually there that night, and I tell you what, there was no one more surprised than me that John Howard, the Prime Minister, made the team. I wanted to say that it was a magnificent half-forward line. It was Sid Jackson, Stephen Michael at centre-half forward, and Nicky Winmar on the other half-forward.
Goodness me, how good is that?
So did you see much of... Steve Michael was going to be on the show, and congratulations on being in our team. Did obviously West Australian boy yourself, like he was, did you see much of him? Did you...
Oh, yeah.
What are your memories of Michael? He's
sensational.
Yeah.
Just an all-round athlete.
What would he have done in the VFL? How good would he have been in this comp had he come over?
Look, he said, you know what he said? He said, I don't have to go over there and prove myself over in Victoria.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't go. But goodness, I wish he would have gone.
Yeah. There was nothing he couldn't do. I mean, he was tough. He could jump. He was a runner. He could kick it. I mean, there seemed to be nothing he couldn't do, Sid.
That's right. He was just a true champion, that bloke.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch.
Good.
Absolutely magnificent player.
Now, if you've just joined us, we're here talking to Sid Jackson, watching highlights of Stephen Michael. So it's one of those shows.
No, we can't wait to have him on the show.
That's rewriting the rules.
No, well, that is rewriting.
We would have had that entire half-forward line from the team of the century on tonight's show. Nicky Winmar.
Oh, that's true. Sid Jackson and Stephen Michael. That's exactly right. Yeah.
We almost done.
I know you've got one last little thing you want to.
Are you going to do this?
You want to bounce something off. I know you love your West Indian cricketers.
All right,
go on.
Ask it.
I can't think of a better way to finish our tribute to the great Sid Jackson by asking you. Well, it's true. You met Clive Lloyd.
I did.
Have a look. And what are your memories of this?
Geez, I want a copy of that. Gee. Oh, I remember that vividly. Yeah. Fantastic.
What are you talking about there?
He's talking about your hands?
Cricket.
I'm saying you'd never drop one at first slip with soft hands like that. Crikey Moses, he'd go straight in there.
Where was that? Do you remember where was that?
Oh, well, we were over in, was it Barbados or somewhere? Where was it? Somewhere over there. Yeah.
Just talking to Clive Lloyd.
Yeah, in Barbados, you must have had your passport through.
Hey, Sid, enjoy the weekend. Honestly, what we're enjoying and seeing in the AFL these days might not necessarily have been possible had it not been for people like you who paved the way for generations to follow. Thanks for your contribution to footy and thanks for coming in tonight. It's been a joy to meet you.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Sid Jackson, a very, very special guest. What a joy it is to have him on the show. Don't go anywhere. On the other side of this mix, Multi up next.
Friday Night Footy starts at 7 on 7 Mate with the Telstra Friday Night Countdown. News, views, expert insight. Your home for the most comprehensive preview of footy's biggest nights. Start your weekend right.
And the snap is there!
With the Telstra Friday Night Countdown. 7 p.m. on 7 Mate.
Welcome back to the show. Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft kicks off tomorrow night. Doug Nicholls round. We cannot wait. Huge game of footy. We all understand the COVID regulations we're going to be operating in, but there's still some magnificent football to look forward to. Western Bulldogs, man, what a great way to start it off. During the game tomorrow night, by the way, the first of the sliders is going to be announced for the fight.
Do you know who it is?
No, I've got no idea.
Have a guess.
I've
got to say...
Go on.
Bert.
Stu...
Wouldn't that be good, though?
It'd be great.
That would be
fantastic. It'd be good to see him up and about, that's for sure. Yeah, no doubt.
And Bert would have loved that. He's a gag man.
Bert loves our show. Get well, Bert.
Yeah, there you go.
Big Fitzroy man. Loves his
Some of you may have noticed the footy, the special Doug Nicholls round footy that we've got for Sharon. You can get there. They're magnificent. Sharon.com.au. 15% of the proceeds of the sale of these footies donate to the AFL Cape York House.
Right.
That supports Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander community program. So they're a beautiful football. Get one of those and you're supporting a fantastic cause on the way through. Time now for the one and only Mixed Multi.
How many links did we get last week?
You only got one right, which means you got 3 wrong, which means $2,000 for every one you get wrong. Sportsbet donating to the fight against MND. That means the tally now is up to $14,000 if you don't mind.
Well done, Sportsbet.
We are donating to the fight. So
enjoy it, because there mightn't be a lot out of this week, because this cannot lose.
Okay.
I've done my homework on this. This is it. Are you ready?
All right, we're ready to go.
Are there any raccoons in it?
No, but the animal kingdom is represented. Hello, leg 3. All right, let's go. Actually, leg 1 too.
There's a theme to your thing, mate.
Okay, first up.
What do you got?
Seagulls are a nuisance at the MCG, right, at the game. But recently, I think they've clued onto the MCG staff's attempts to bamboozle them. Look at them, unfazed.
Yep.
Unfazed by this attempt to put a kite in to throw them off their game.
Right.
But I'd like to wager that these Seagulls are getting a bit cocky now and, well, pulling the piss, basically. I can see my house from here. By the way, that's hands in the back. Yeah. That is hands in the back.
You can't have it, but how about you take West Coast to win by 26 plus against the Bombers? I'll give you $1.95.
I'm interested, Andy. Lock it in.
Right.
Okay, second leg. Have a look at this. Bombers coach Ben Rutten, or Truck, as he's also known, has taken a few liberties since arriving at the club. I'd like to draw your attention to his personalised pencil case. See that? So he's got his own pencil case.
It says Rutt.
It's got Truck on it because the first letter's gone missing. I'd like to wager that that's very similar to your pencil case, Sam, which is also missing its first letter, which you left lying around
He put his hand up and I couldn't let him
Don't carry that with you.
You can't have it, but how about you take Carl Hooker?
I'm selling my half of Guzman and Gomez because of where this is going.
Carl Hooker to kick 2 or more against the Eagles, going to give you $2.20.
Oh, I'm going to take that, Andy. You're being generous tonight.
You know, I saw this backstage. I thought, what's he doing with that?
Well, there you know.
All right. I'd like to wager. I haven't introduced the leg yet. Look at this, the third leg. Now, the mullet has made a long-awaited return to the AFL, but I think the trend is now spilling over into the animal kingdom. Check out the llama. Yeah. The llama. You know that llama's wearing moccasins, don't you? I'd like to wager that llama is indigenous to the Frankston region.
You can't have it. It's pretty funny. But how about you take Bailey Smith at 30 plus and I'll give you 340?
What?
What do you reckon?
I'll take it. All right. So let's boot this baby home. Let's have a look at this bloke. It's a monk, and he's pulling a truck up a hill.
Oh, no.
To be honest, I don't have a wager. I just want to show you a monk towing a truck with his balls. Look at that. Hey.
Geez, I'm glad Sid didn't stick around.
That's not how you touch on. If you've never caught public transport before. And I'm pretty sure he's just seconds away from breaking his vow of silence. What do we got?
You can't have any of that.
Can't have any of that.
But how about you take... Oh, you've got to be joking. Rippin' Willie to win.
I'm on it.
At race 6,
this could be
the
best multi ever. Back it up. What have we got? $104. Yes.
Rippin' Willie to win.
Here we go.
If you like the look of that, get on the Sportsbet app. Mixed multi in the Mega Bet section of the app and gamble responsibly.
The Mega Bet section?
Mega Bets section of the app. Last shout when we come back. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft.
Saturday on 7. It's Queensland Derby Day at Eagle Farm, where Explosive Jack is chasing history.
Explosive Jack, what a moment!
Guitra goes for Group 1 glory in the Kingsford Smith Cup.
And Guitra went home best.
Plus, there's quality racing from Brandwick into Caulfield. 2 Group 1s, 3 states, 1 channel.
Hi, this is Steve Michael here. Unfortunately, I can't make it. I hope to catch up with you all soon.
Oh, God, so do we. We can't wait to have him on the show. Once COVID restrictions are in, Steve and Michael will be back on the show. We'll come over on the show, so we cannot wait to have him here. It is last shout, of course. It is Doug Nicholls round. Played over 2 weekends. To all our Indigenous brothers and sisters who made the game so magnificent, a joy to watch. We salute a lot of you, and hopefully you enjoyed the celebration of the game that you made so much better over the next couple of weeks. That's it for us. We are back here next Thursday, 8:30. So
get vaccinated. Take one for the team.
Idea.
Let's
go. Very good idea. Do that. Stay safe. We'll see you next Thursday night.